What is going on, folks? It is Dr. Remy LeBeau, and I'm coming at you once again from the X-Lair to provide you my deep and insightful thoughts into Marvel's latest film, The Marvels. Alright, so just saw it, just got home, didn't think I'd make it tonight, but I decided to sneak out for a late night showing because I had to watch it. I didn't want anything spoiled for me, but then again, things apparently were already spoiled for me because everybody's been talking about the things that are most important to an X fan, which I will get to. No spoilers off the bat, but there's some things that happen towards the very, very end, the after credit sequence to be exact, that was very exciting. It was very exciting. It's the best part of the movie for me, but I'll get to that. All right, so this movie, man, like, there's been a lot of, obviously there's been a lot of negative sentiment about the MCU in general, and there's, a lot of reasons for why things have been going the way they have been. First of all, we're done with a 20-film saga that was fantastic. It got us the biggest climax you could ever imagine in these type of films, if in any type of film, really. Endgame was beyond spectacular, and I think everybody was more than satisfied with that. And where are you going to go from there? Well, you got to go down, because you can't just keep going up. That was the peak, so you got to go down before you can reach another peak. And so that's understandable, but then, there's all this other stuff going on behind the scenes where the head of Disney, Bob Iger, steps down, and this guy, Bob JPEG, comes in, and he's like, Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios, can't do whatever he wants anymore. I'm going to tell you what to do, and I'm going to make you make as many TV shows as possible so that we can have content for our streaming service that we're launching. We want it to be a success, and we're just going to milk every IP we have to the bone, and we're not going to worry as much about quality, the thing that made these things popular to begin with, and we're just going to shove out content, because this guy, he used to run the parks, and in the parks, you shove out content, but that's not storytelling, that's not filmmaking, that's not what Kevin Feige is really good at. And so, there was a sabotage that was enacted, and things happened, and not everything that's come out since then has been of the highest quality. And in fact, there have been things that have been fairly lackluster, and the frequency of those things has been relatively high for the MCU. And given that the DCEU has just shot the bed completely, I have all the faith in the world James Gunn's going to turn that around. It just basically soured folks' taste for comic book films. But then again, you have Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which was a success, and also, beyond monetary, critically and popularly a success as well. So it's not like all hope is lost. It's just, there was just too much happening. There was not enough, connectivity in the sense that there was a smooth flow between things. And I as an avid understander of these things, I get everything that's going on. I follow everything. I'm on top of things. I get it. But the average person does not get it. The average person is not completely in tune with, just all the wild and wackiness of the multiverse that now exists in the MCU. And so I can see why, the average film goer would be turned off to these films. Ant-Man Quantumania was a mixed bag. It wasn't great. The only thing that was great for me was Jonathan Majors. And Jonathan Majors is currently in a situation where his character is being called into question, which can call the entire Kang storyline into question, which was supposed to be the backbone of this latest saga. So there's all that going on. There's just too many things that have been going wrong that have potentially undermined the ability of the MCU to be successful. Until the after credit sequence of the Marvels, of course. But we'll get to that. This film felt like the second and third act of a film. That's what it felt like. It felt like it was missing the first act. It felt like we're going right into like the middle part of the movie, and then we're getting to the end of the movie. But like we missed the entire beginning of it. That's what it felt like. Even to me, who've watched Miss Marvel, who've watched WandaVision, like the minute the movie started, like things started happening, and it's like it just felt a little jarring. Like I didn't feel like I was just like kind of like, you know, just smoothly transported into this experience, which is pretty wacky. It was more of like here's this person that you're supposed to know, here's this other person that you're supposed to know. I know them, but do most people know them? Who knows? But even I who know them, like it's been a while since I've watched Miss Marvel. It's been a while since I've watched WandaVision. Like I didn't feel like Monica Rambeau's journey from the entire WandaVision show, where she was like basically just, you know, going through the whole Captain Marvel, her coming back from the blip, and then dealing with like, you know, her mom being dead and Captain Marvel not being there, like that whole thing, like it wasn't there, like it wasn't present in me as I was like entering this movie. And the Miss Marvel experience, I watched it. It's been maybe like a year since it came out. I don't know. It's been a while. You know, like I love the character, I love the actress, but I don't have like I didn't feel like this character's journey going into it. I felt like I needed a reintroduction to her, and I felt like I needed a reintroduction to Monica before we got like thrown into this like wild like world and story that was happening. So I think that ultimately hurts the movie quite a bit. Like I think with someone like me, it's like, okay, it's part of a continuing story and I'll take it, you know, it's like just another part of it. And like, as part of a bigger story, I'm down with it. It's totally fine. If I view it as just its own film, like I can't forgive it for that. I can't forgive that. Because first of all, the average person is just going to be like, what? And just as an overall experience, like it doesn't feel like a complete experience. I like where it went. I think overall it did a good job. I think the second act was, I'll talk about it, but like ultimately I did like sort of where it landed, but like kind of getting there was a little bit, it was a rocky journey. Like everything was in place for it to work, but it just didn't quite work because it felt like there was a piece missing, a major piece, an important piece. Like it'd been a while since I watched Captain Marvel as well. And like even though Captain Marvel had existed, like the story had existed in like the 80s, and then we had Endgame, you know, Carol Danvers like 5 years later, and like she'd been helping like Earth's forces, and you know, it's like things had happened since that movie, you know, so it didn't quite feel like the events of that movie should necessarily like reverberate into this. It felt like, I don't know. I guess if I was going to tell the story, I would just tell a new story. I wouldn't be like, oh, this is a response to something that happened in Captain Marvel. Like, I wouldn't do that. But, you know, I understand. I don't understand why you would do that. I think the things that needed to happen in this movie could have happened in a different way, and it probably could have been less expensive and also like just a lot smoother. But I'm not here to write the story because it's already been written. Like, you know, I'm not here to be the Monday night quarterback to this film. Like, I'm not going to be that. But also I will be that because I'm talking about the movie and like, I'm a fan. That's what we do. We talk about stuff. Anyway, overall, I enjoyed this movie. I don't love it. I like it more than the first Captain Marvel. The first Captain Marvel I didn't love. It always kind of felt kind of mid for me. I like this more, I think, because of you know, Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau. I love those characters. Carol Danvers, I forget her name. Carol Danvers. I don't know. There's something about her that just like, it's very kind of flat. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just the character herself. Like, she's not quite as explosive and exciting. I don't know. There's something missing there. I think. I don't know. It's like, I'm not gonna make excuses. Like, Brie Larson, that's her name. She's a great actress. Is she playing it one note? Is it her fault? I don't know if I can blame her. I have no idea. But there's something missing there. There's like a spark. There's like a magic that's not there. But I felt like Iman Milani, I believe that's her name, who played Kamala Khan, and Monica Rambeau, I feel like they did bring that spark. But there wasn't enough, like the whole power switching thing, it was too jarring to allow like that kind of dynamic to just kind of flourish, just kind of like, I felt like we needed to kind of sit with it for a while, but everything was happening so fast and it was just like one thing to the next. Like, if you watch like the Guardians movies, like in the Guardians movies, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of characters, and there's a lot of characters in the core group, right? But there's enough time to kind of let it all marinate so that the characters really have moments to just kind of be characters and kind of have their dynamic and really allow us to fall in love with them. I didn't feel like we had that in this movie. Maybe it was because it was missing that first part, I don't know. Anyway, overall, movie's okay. Characters, Miss Marvel, Monica Rambeau, fantastic. End of credit sequence, fantastic. And the experience overall, it's fine. Like it's not a bad story. It's just not a great story. And again, it feels incomplete. All right, I'm going to jump into spoilers now. So if you haven't watched the movie, turn this off, come on back. And when you're done, we'll talk about it. We'll see what happens. All right. So this is the situation, okay? Fucking Beast. First of all, I fucking hate that I knew that Kelsey Grammer's Beast was going to be in the movie at the end. I hate that. Like, I wanted it to be a surprise, but what was a surprise is how fucking great he looked. He looked fantastic. Like, they did like this kind of pseudo like CGI thing with him. I was like, oh my God, this looks so good. That's Beast. But it's not like this weird like Kelsey Grammer, like X-Men's Last Stand Beast. It's like, that's Beast. That's like Beast from fucking Marvel Comics. It's what I've always wanted. It's those very brief moments at the very end, that like when you see like he mentions Charles, and then you see the fucking, and you see like the X door, like, and the X doors look amazing. Like, it doesn't look like it looked in the Fox universe. Like, it looks like the MCU version of like the X-verse, I'm just like, this is all I've ever wanted. This is like exactly what I knew would happen when Marvel took the X-Men, when Kevin Feige was able to invent the version of the X-Men he wanted to show, just like when we saw Xavier in Multiverse of Madness, and here's another taste of that, here's Beast, and it's like, oh God, and like he mentions Shaw, so it's like they're talking somewhere out in that mansion or wherever they are. They must be at the mansion, right? So it's going on, like it's happening, like the X-Men are around together somewhere looking fucking awesome, like actual X-Men, not like this weird, like, I'm gonna make my own version because I don't care about comics and I'm a filmmaker. Like, fuck you. Make the fucking comics, because that's what they are. Like, that's what they fucking are, god damn it. Anyway. Okay, this reminds me of when I watched Venom 2, which was awful. And then at the very end, we have that great after credit sequence where Venom jumps into the MCU temporarily. Later, we found out he just leaves a piece of the symbiote and he gets sent back to his universe. It was nothing big. But that moment was so exciting, and I was like, that moment made the experience for me. Unfortunately, the same thing happened here. Fortunately, the movie is not bad, not like Venom 2 was. Like, this is a good movie. I mean, I'm sorry, it's a fine movie. It's a fine movie. Okay. So, unfortunately, it's that same kind of experience, but in this case, it's better than that. One, because the after credit sequence is X-Men, and two, because the movie's better than Venom 2. All right. Apparently, hopefully, this will lead into Deadpool 3, which we just found out because fortunately the actor's strike is finally over. Hallelujah. Deadpool 3 will be coming out during the summer. It'll come out in July. And in that movie, we're going to get a lot of X-Men, apparently. We're definitely getting Wolverine, but I think we're getting like a lot of X-Men. I think we're going to see a lot of what we've always wanted to see from the depictions that we have seen prior from Fox. And then that will sort of maybe bridge us into Secret Wars, which ultimately will likely reboot the entire thing, crash all the universes into one. The X-Men, the Avengers, everyone will exist in one universe. Everyone will be recast, or most people will be recast. New stories will be told, and the X universe will exist within the Marvel universe, and everything will be hunky-dory. That's what I foresee for what's coming. It's likely going to be some version of that. So, like, what we saw in the end credit sequence of this movie, I believe will kind of bridge us into Deadpool 3. Somehow there will be a connection there because Deadpool 3 is coming out in July, and that's the next MCU movie. They've just pushed back Captain America 4 to 2025. So next year, the only MCU movie is going to be Deadpool 3. It's going to be in July. It's going to be fucking enormous. I know it. I can't fucking wait for it. It's going to be everything I've ever wanted in life. Thank you. Thank you, life, for that little gift that you're about to give us in July. Not that far away. Time is going pretty fast these days, so we'll be there like by tomorrow, pretty much. By the way, here's my Infinity Gauntlet, in case you were wondering. All right. Okay, so X-Men, the after credit sequence. Fucking yes, please. Yes, please. Yes. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Hellfire Gala, live action. Hello. Hi. Hellfire Gala. Hi. Hi. Live action. Okay. We'll talk about that in the future when I'm making videos and I'm like jumping up and down and my head's exploding from joy. But the Marvels. Okay, the Marvels. Okay, so this lady finds the other band from Kamala Khan, but that's never really explained. The connection between the bands. Maybe that's part of a bigger story that's being told later. Kamala eventually gets both bands, and like she uses that to help Monica close the rift in the realities. But then when she's back on Earth, she only has one of them. Why does she only have one? Where's the other one? What happened there? What is that? And okay, we won't talk about it. Okay, we won't talk about it. Okay, we won't talk about it. Immediately, Kamala's jumping into Carol's party, and Monica's jumping into everybody, and they're all like jumping. Okay, there's a lot of jumping, and it's just like we're just like promulgated in a very violent way into this world of these characters. It just wasn't smooth at all. Nick Fury's in the Sword Station. There's no mention of Secret Invasion stuff that happened in Secret Invasion. The sword, the station is there, and there's like ships flying through portal. Like, where did all these ships? Who are these ships? There's ships flying through portals, and they're flying. Who are these people, and why are they flying? What's going on here? I mean, I know it's Sword, but like we're flying. Like there's if the ship's going through the portals, where are they going? Who are they? What's going on? I don't understand. I don't know this stuff. Like when did we never set this? We never set this up. We set up the Sword Station in WandaVision. We saw some of it. We've seen Nick Fury is in a station. I think we saw it at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, which is the second Spider-Man movie. And then we saw Nick Fury come down from that and then go back up to it. I think, was his wife with him at the end of Secret Invasion? But was she? I don't know. I don't remember. But, like, what's going on up there? And why don't we know about this stuff? And why isn't it being explained to us? That's an issue. Like, okay. So, yeah, so let me see. People are jumping around. So there's this Kree. There's the new Kree leader. Apparently, the world's fallen apart. That was a result of Carol bringing down the intelligence that was running everything, that was evil, and that led to a civil war that broke down their civilization, and it depleted their resources and burned out their sun and dried up their ocean and depleted their atmosphere. Okay. And she's using this bangle to create portals. So those bangles apparently are what are responsible for creating this network of portals throughout the universe to travel. Okay, and she finds one, and then she's using it to get the atmosphere and then the ocean. She doesn't know there's another portal. At some point, she says that she's going to try to reignite the sun by herself. But instead, she decides to take our sun. But it was never, like, the transition between that plan and the plan to take our sun never quite came together in a way that made sense. But anyway, there was like a lot of weird kind of things where it was just like, things didn't quite add up, like, completely. Like, it wasn't like a smooth, like, this is this piece here, and then this leads to this one, and, like, it was like things over, like, there were script problems. Maybe this had to do with the writer's strike, where, I mean, I don't think so, because, I mean, the movie had to, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on it, but there was definitely issues with the storytelling in this movie, without a doubt. So anyway, like, this Kree woman is trying to take the atmosphere from this one planet, and then the ocean from this other planet, and then the sun from our solar system. The Marvels come together and fight her, and then they have to try to kind of reconcile, like, their thing, but there's not enough time for them to do that because we're constantly jumping from one place to another. When we go to the second planet where they want to take the water and everybody's singing, that was fun. I enjoyed it. It kind of felt out of play. I don't know. It kind of felt out of place. Like, it didn't feel consistent with the tone of the overall story that was being told. Like, I liked the concept and the execution of this place where the language is song. I like that. I don't know. There just wasn't a smoothness to it. It was very jarring. It was like, what? So, yeah, okay. All right. So the Kree show up at the planet with the water, and then there's another fight, and then they immediately leave. Them leaving the battle felt very jarring as well. And then, we immediately go back to Earth for the final battle. And then we have the final battle. And then there's, like, the whole thing with the Kurgans. What are they called? The Florigans? The cats. The cats had babies now. And all the babies are there, and, like, all the little kittens, and they're, like, saving everybody. And Kamala's family's all up in the mix. I liked everything with Kamala's family and Kamala. Nick Fury, the way he was behaving overall didn't quite feel consistent with the Nick Fury we've seen throughout the series. But, I mean, whatever. Anyway, the fight happens, and and really, like, once the Kree person is defeated, that's when I started really liking the movie. When it was like Monica, um, Carol, and Kamala, they're not switching powers anymore, so it's not like it wasn't that anymore. It was just like, all right, I got my power. Okay, I feel like that was a mistake. That whole thing was just not great. It didn't play well, I don't think, and I think it got in the way. Maybe it would be a good like circumstance in another film where like these characters are already set up and their dynamic is set up, and you know they work together and they know each other, and like, oh shit, this thing's happening. Okay, but like within the context of this movie where we don't even know these characters and they don't even know each other, I think it got in the way of us getting to know these people. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But the minute it stopped for like the last, I don't know, 15 minutes of the movie, I was like, all right, this is cool. All right, they gotta band together to close the fissure to another reality. Okay. Monica gets stuck on the other side. Ooh, heart-wrenching. Yeah. No, I like that stuff. And then, you know, we go back to Earth. And then is Kamala's family moving to Louisiana? To Monica's house? Why are they moving to Louisiana? Don't they live in New Jersey? Why would you leave New Jersey? Doesn't Sword have a lot of money? Can't they just like give them another house or rebuild their house or something? Like, they have to move to Louisiana? That seems kind of dramatic. Did they move to Louisiana? Is that what was happening, or were they moving Carol into Louisiana? Was that what it was? I wasn't quite sure, because the whole family was there helping move in. And then the mom said something to the son about like, this could be a good place for you to make it. Was she implying that he should hook up with Carol? Is that what that was about? I don't know. It wasn't 100% clear to me. But I did kind of like the Kamala. Everything with the Kamala Khan was great. And then I do love that little kind of moment at the end where we see Kate Bishop from the Hawkeye series. I love Kate Bishop. She was awesome. I'm so glad we're finally seeing her. And like Kamala Khan is recruiting her. They're making the Young Avengers. Cool. That's awesome. That's super fun. It's been teased for a long time, but it's like, can we just get there? Can we just get there? Because this is taking a while. Let's just get to where we're going, you know? It looks like we're going places, but like the average person doesn't know who Kate Bishop is. Maybe they'll go anyway. Like maybe this movie will make people watch Kamala, Miss Marvel, and Hawkeye, and then they'll get to know these characters and whatever. Okay, this is all part of something that's leading to something else, clearly. The Loki finale aired tonight. I have not watched it. In fact, I'm going to watch it right now after I'm done with this video. Maybe that will tell me something about, like, it doesn't matter. I don't care what's happening next. Whatever happens next, happens next. I just hope this movie is able to at least turn a bit of a profit and it's not a complete bomb, and that people don't just give up on the MCU, because the MCU deserves to survive after what it's accomplished. It deserves to survive. It's taken a lot of hits. Right now it's at a major low, but Bob Iger, Disney, Kevin Feige, they're like, we're going to fix this shit. I have faith in them that they will. Again, for me personally, I'm fine. Like, I'm watching everything. I went to watch this the opening night, of course. Like, I wasn't going to miss it, you know? But the average person clearly is not down right now as much for the MCU. But I feel like it can be redeemed. Because, I mean, just look at Guardians. Guardians did well. People like Guardians. So you just make good movies, people will watch them. Spider-Man 3. People love Spider-Man 3. I mean, God damn, I love that movie. So good. You know, and I know Deadpool 3 is going to be... And maybe that will be the thing that's like... that brings people back. It'll be the thing that's like, by the way, the MCU, X-Men now. But not shitty Fox X-Men, like MCU fucking awesome X-Men that everybody's been wanting for fucking their whole lives. And it'll introduce the X-Men. What's up? to a whole new generation of people, and it'll just go the way of just success, which it deserves. There's talk about pivoting from Kang to Doctor Doom. I mean, I believe Kang is a future relation of Reed Richards, I think, or Victor Von Doom, one of the two. But there is a very close relationship between the Fantastic Four, Kang, and Doctor Doom. So I feel like all of that can ultimately lead to Doom being the guy. Because Doom has always been the guy. He was the guy in the original Secret Wars. He's the guy in the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars from 2015. So I don't know what Secret Wars. I'm sure it's going to be an amalgam of them. So like there's room to kind of pivot from Kang to Doom, no doubt. Secret Wars can be Doom's thing. So we'll see what happens there. I think no matter what happens, I think it's going to be good. So I look forward to it. Anyway, those are my thoughts, folks. The movie wasn't long, so I'll cut the video off here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are enjoying your lives and things of that sort. And yeah, just keep hanging in there. The world is wacky and wild, and all sorts of terrible, horrible things are happening. And it's really unfortunate, and it saddens the hell out of me. But there's also a lot of wonderful things happening. A lot of wonderful people exist in the world, and there's always a lot of good that is happening in the world, and we cannot forget that. I don't forget it. I'm never going to forget it, and you shouldn't either. Anyway, thank you for checking out my channel. Thanks for checking out my video. If you haven't already subscribed, click that subscribe button. Click that thumbs up or the thumbs down. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought about the movie. Press that bell so you know when I'm going to post another video. Hey, whatever. Do your thing or don't do your thing. Whatever. Anyway, I still love this shit, and I'm always going to love it forever and ever and ever. Anyway, thank you so much for checking out my video. I wish you the very best. And as always, I want to remind you that if you haven't already, you better put an X in the box, because ain't nobody checking me.